you first of all start by telling us what years you were here and whether you were dorm kid, staff kid, things like that?
Okay, yeah. I was here from 1986 to till 1993. I was a day scholar. Then, like in standard 9, I joined the boarding. And initially I thought I was a bit scared, but I just loved it. It was pretty good. Because the dorm parents here, they are more like your parents. And we had a lot of activities. They make sure that you're not bored. Like, there's something happening. Then, yeah, what was in studies, like at one is being dorm. In the dorm is like when you have, like if you have issue the studies, there'll always be a brighter student who'll always be very helpful. And you're not always comfortable talking to the teacher, troubling the teachers, or the brighter students will help you. So that way it was really good.
Okay, so I came here in 1996, so I was 6 years old then. And so I was a staff kid. My parents worked here. We lived at Selborne most of the time. I did all of my schooling here. And I left at the end of year 13, which was in 2008. Yeah. And then, I had such fond memories that I came back again in 2016. And I was an IG then for the 6 months. And mostly my challenge then was to get everybody to get in the swimming pool for swimming lessons and to get the Silverdale kids in bed on time. So that was my challenge for my time as an IG. But yeah, again, same as George, I look back very fondly at all of my time here, mostly ups and downs, but mostly positive.
I tell my people in my life now, my kid's going to boarding school for sure because of what Hebron did for me, And after I left school, the habits and the routines that Hebron set into place for me was the key to proceeding on from, coming out of the Hebron bubble, as they say. So when you go to uni and stuff, what the stuff you learn here is really, really beneficial. So that's what really kept me in tune, I would say. Yeah.
Great. So you talked a little bit about after Hebron. Can you just tell briefly what you do now?
So I'm a sportsman, international sportsman. I shoot guns for India. Not guns for India, but I shoot clay targets. Olympic trap shooting. I've done that for the past 21 years. I started when I was in Hebron. Mr. Alistair Reed actually allowed me to go and miss a bit of school and shoot and come back, and that's how I managed to reach a decent national level, and then I went internationally, participated in the Olympic Games in 2016 and Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, all of those things. Won a few medals here and there, but I'm also, I have a company which is a subsidiary company to my mother. She's an event designer, and I run a company which rents out her stuff. So her decor stuff, I rent it out to other vendors and have a revenue stream from there as well. So it's a decent business. I can run it on the phone and shoot at the same time, at least try. So it's that's basically what I do.
And George, can you tell us as well?
Okay. Our family owned a company in Kerala. We have a rubber plantation, and we supply rubber, pepper, and those kind of things to other companies. So we mainly probably the tires and all that stuff probably come from my rubber plantation as well. Could be coming from mine.
And Emily?
Yeah, so after Hebron, I went back to the UK. I did my university there. I studied medicine. My parents actually stayed here for another year or so. So I was back in the UK alone initially. And now I'm based, in the UK. I work in emergency medicine there. And then another thing that I'm quite involved in is I'm quite involved in work with third culture kids returning to the UK. So I run some camps in the summer and involved in various bits of programming and things throughout the year, just helping people who have had similar life experiences to me, who are maybe just a couple of years behind me. Not that I have any wisdom to share, but just hopefully trying to be of some encouragement and some help there as well. So,
Great.
What would you say was your most difficult challenge of being a dorm kid over here?
Difficult challenge?
Yeah.
For trying to get one more item of duck. I would
It's a
say.
hard life.
Yeah, it's a hard life, I didn't really have a worry in the world. Literally, honestly, it was basically how to sneak another extra piece of duck. That's about it.
That's very nice.
Did
How
you ever
about
manage?
I managed a bunch of times, but where I put the duck to sneak it, I'm not telling you.
How about you, George?
Yeah, I had a good time actually. I think the biggest challenge I'll say, like in Hebron,
Yeah.
I think things were too good actually. The teachers are very nice to you. They're very helpful. And outside, like when I was outside Hebron, called the place where I went to, there was a lot of competition. Here, the brightest students help the weaker students. Over there, it was more like marks. Like, is he going to beat me in this mark? Like, there's a lot of competition. So that was a bit of, I found it very strange actually. And the good things is the good values. The discipline was really good. Like, one reason why, I mean, when you go to university, you meet all sorts of people who do drugs and all that stuff. So I think some of the good values is the school teaches you, Christian values or whatever, I mean, it really helps you not to, go into all this. There'll be a conscience telling you, don't do this. It's not what you're supposed to do. Yeah, I mean, these were the things, good things about it.
What was your complication of being a staff kid?
Yeah, so being a staff kid, I think, is quite interesting because Hebron, I mean, we've all been here. We know it becomes everything. It is your whole world. And when you're a staff kid, it's home as well.
Yeah.
Because, the day students and the boarding school students, you go home in the holidays. This is our home.
Yeah.
So when the campus is empty, the staff kids, we rule this place. When I was here from a 6-year-old, I can tell you where all the best places to play Barbies are.
Yeah.
I can tell you where all the dens are. I can tell you how to climb onto every single roof.
Yeah.
In the holidays, we call the teachers auntie and uncle.
Yeah.
And then in term times, they're teachers again. And I think sometimes I felt that maybe the boarders looked at us and said, oh, you have the best of both worlds, You get to be at Hebron, but also you get to live with your family. Which was true.
I disagree.
But, I barely ever saw my parents.
Yeah.
My parents, my mum would wake us up in the morning, then she'd go wake up the dorm kids. Sometimes I wouldn't see her again until the next morning. Same with my dad. People always used to say to me, Emily, why are you so good? You never break the rules. I used to say, do you think I would get past breakfast wearing the wrong colour socks? My mum is the senior mistress. If I'm wearing blue socks, she'll see it.
Yeah.
Um,
I think being a staff kid was
Yeah.
harder than being a
It's
boarder.
difficult actually because
Probably,
you're involved in everything,
Yeah.
the class and the activities and the sports, but you're not in the dorm, and your parents are staff, so you are aware that there is stuff going on that people are purposely not involving you in because
Yeah.
I guess that they're rightfully scared that you're going to
Yeah.
tell or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the easiest because just complications of
I think
always just being a little bit different, always being a little bit marked out as being the staff kid.
one thing I used to feel sorry for the staff kids because you could always be termed as a spy. Like something like it could be the staff kid spying on us, why is he could be spying on us. I mean, that was one of the I used to feel sorry for some of them.
Yeah, the staff kids in my year were completely clueless. They had no idea what was happening.
What would you say were one of your best memories in Hebron? Also, could you give us one of your best memories? Probably worst or not even worst, but sad or one funny, really, really funny.
My best memory would probably be playing inter-school sports on the big pitch. That when the whole school comes to watch, it's like an amphitheater. You get a lot of energy from there. I really like that part. Sad part would probably be the porridge.
Or the cheese toast.
Nah,
Did
cheese
they
toast
make
was
you-
good.
Wait,
When I
did
was
they make
here,
you eat raggy porridge?
yeah. Suji
They don't
and
do that
ragi.
anymore.
Yo, bro, that was bad.
Yeah.
But the cheese toast was good when I was here. Now I don't know.
Wait, did you have it this morning?
Stinks.
Yeah, I had a bite. Yeah, it was
Today it was subpar, but usually it's
subpar.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, so pretty much everyone was a fun time. There was no sad moments. There was you fight with your friends and that's about it. I mean, you have to eat porridge at 7:45 in the morning, but other than that, not really much.
Some of the good things, we had a French teacher called Miss Wagland, and for most of the French classes, she was there was an AV room with a projector, and she used to get movies from France, and she used to make us watch French movies, think that that'll help us learn the language, but we used to just understand reading the subtitles. So we enjoyed that. And we used to kind of tell her that, yeah, it's very helpful. I mean, that was good, a good thing. Sad part, I'll see leaving Hebron, missing our friends. I really missed my friends when I left school. Those days, there were no emails or anything. So we used to write a lot of letters and all that stuff.
Wow, I wonder how that feels like.
No phones, no WhatsApp,
Yeah,
no Instagram.
The aerogram. Aerogram, yeah.
Oh my goodness, I have so many stories. You know, I could take you literally probably anywhere on this whole campus and tell you something that's happened there or some memories that's happened there. Good things and bad things as well. Yeah, surrounding sports, but I'm not a natural sportswoman. I did it because it's Hebron. But drama festivals, I have a lot of really good memories surrounding putting on drama festivals and class plays. There's challenges that classes face as well, and I know that you guys have experienced some of this as well. So we had a classmate that was diagnosed with leukemia, and was diagnosed at school. I remember going to visit her initially in Hawes, and then school trips down to visit her in Vellore, and she did pass away when we were in year 10. So I remember that being a challenge, but also a time of, I think, quite bonding for the class. And she was a girl that she was a believer, and her family as well, and were just so full of love and kindness and goodness, and that really emanated from them. So that was a hard time, but I can look back at it now and I can see growth, I can see goodness, and it's something I will always remember. I think it was something for me that was important for going into medicine and going to visit her. So, hopefully I try to, part of my career, hopefully, I hope is maybe part of her legacy as well going forward. You never forget these things, even though it was 20 odd years ago now. So, but that is where I think Hebron shines, because it is a community, isn't it? It's not, when there are difficulties, it's not one individual trying to struggle on their own. I think it is in those times that you see classes pull together, students and staff pull together, because, I don't know, maybe when you're a student, you forget that the staff has also experienced this challenge as well. And staff and students they can pull together and you can support each other. And you can grow together. And I think that is a very unique quality of this place. And I hope it's a discipline that is instilled in people. And I hope as we move forward, like when I run a team now in my hospital in the UK, or when you meet with colleagues and you're running your business, I think you talked about the discipline that you learn in Hebron that you can carry forward. And I think also it's some of that interpersonal bonding that we've realized is so important to form teams going forward. So it's definitely a learning point, and I think you guys would agree. It's definitely something that we have learned and taken from Hebron.
You talked a little bit about drama and things there.
Yeah.
Can you and we've mentioned sport a little bit as well. Can you talk about some of the extracurricular things that you did here that you enjoyed, or and what you learned from them? And
for me, oh man, I did everything.
I was just gonna say, what didn't we do?
I don't even know how I got any A levels. In all honesty, one story was. We did Duke of Ed, and we got lost. We got lost a lot. But there was 3 of us and 1 staff member, and there was a trek that nobody had been on. I don't know if you would remember this, but nobody had been on this trek for a number of years. But they said, they're a good trek, go for it. So we went, the trek was going well, and it was the last day. We had to find this path down through the forest. We couldn't find the path. So we thought, we'll just take a compass bearing and just go for it. Anyways, we get in a thick forest. So thick that we're commando crawling, dragging our bags.
oh my!
Eventually we realise we've gone wrong. And there's a small hill and we've gone down the wrong side of it. We still haven't found the path.
Oh no.
Right, what do? We're supposed to meet the school bus at the bottom at 4 p.m. By this time it's 6 p.m. and it's starting to get dark. The staff member had a phone, but there was no signal.
No.
So we're we can't walk in the dark. We're just going to have to stop and sleep in the forest. So we did. We didn't have any food left. We looked through our bags, and between us we had about half a litre of water. We had no way of contacting school. So my dad, the 2 drivers, and another member of staff were out all night looking for us. They saw an elephant and a bear in the forest. We were protected when they came to get us, and I mean, I still have scars all over my arms from commando crawling through the forest.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Stories like that. Okay, a lot of activities like again, there's so many. Drama was good. Then learning to ride a scooter. Then there are other things like playing Scrabble as well. That is, if you're lazy, like if you didn't want to do anything very adventurous, you could play Scrabble.
Pretty much the same as M. I did everything here. The drama, the sports. I played cricket, swimming, cross country. We had rugby at the time. Mr. Urkula used to teach us rugby, and we did everything. I had football, hockey, indoor, outdoor, everything. Mostly sports. I was mostly into sports, but yeah, we got as Duke of Edinburgh as well, silver. I think I did a silver. I didn't do gold, but we were on a trek as well, and we got charged by bison. And yeah, it was yeah. The sports was my main love of Hebron, I think. Just especially the team sports. I prefer like those memories now because I'm into an individual sport now, and I know how boring it is, like for the person. So team sports are great. Yeah.
How is the food like?
I'll be honest, food was bad. To be very honest, breakfast was good. Like the cheese toast, and I still like the cheese toast. But lunch was horrible. And that's when I started. I mean, still have a weakness for burgers. I got it from school because we used to like on weekends we used to go out and buy burgers and all that. And A-levels you're allowed to go out every day. So like we used to go out and somebody will go out and buy burgers for us. So that was our main supper or whatever.
Are you guys allowed to go out every day?
Nope.
We
I mean,
Used to be, but it's a new rule this year where they've
prefects can go out any day of the week except Sunday, and but they can only go twice a week, and then everyone else is Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah, school food was pretty bad even then.
Ice cream was like a massive treat. They didn't get the sandwich. We didn't have a sandwich option for lunch. When I was in junior school, were you here in junior school?
Yeah.
They used to put it on your plate,
Yeah.
and you sat there until you'd finished what was on your plate.
Yeah.
We had a sandwich.
exactly.
We got a sandwich option, but that was not a very nice memory because that was the first time I tasted a banana sandwich.
Banana sandwich.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was nasty.
Was it just a banana or were there like cheese or
It
something?
was just
Banana.
the school butter. The school
They used to
butter.
make their own butter.
Yeah, they still make their own butter, I think.
You don't think
No,
so?
they
No,
don't. They
I
use
think
a
so.
full.
Really?
Amul butter now?
No, I'm
You're
pretty
kidding me. Oh my
Full
goodness.
chain.
Oh,
But
so the
I-
school butter
yeah.
and they cut a banana in half the long way, put it on either slice of the bread and
What's your
It's
favorite
not cheese,
Hebron
though.
food?
favorite.
And cheese toast.
Cheese toast.
Cheese toast, yeah.
I mean, cheese toast is like a classic Hebron thing that I think
Yeah.
lives on in
It's
everybody's
not-
memory.
It's ingrained in your blood.
Every Tuesday, I mean, can't really forget it.
I
Yeah,
hate
because OT Club, each time I go to OT Club, I order a plate of cheese toast just for old memories.
The max issue we had in the dining room was if you didn't eat fast, you didn't eat.
It's still the same.
It's
thing.
still the same.
It's 10 minutes for breakfast, pretty much. So yeah.
Yeah, I always found it funny because like I was in junior school and it was the art of dumping
Yeah, oh my god.
was a
See,
big thing.
As a prefect, I've
See-
learned quite a lot about that.
But this is like I was there in junior school and I was hiding it in my orange peel and in my cup and all the tricks. Then I later became a prefect.
Yeah.
They couldn't get away with anything. I was like, empty that orange peel. I know there's something in there. Then I became an IG, and I used to know all the places where people used to hide their extra tuck.
What kind of leadership roles did you guys have when you were in the old years?
I was a prefect. The prefect was fun. Being a
What
prefect
dorm were you?
was fun. So I was in Glenrock.
Was that standard 8 at the time?
Standard 8 at the time, yeah. I was in Glenrock with Johan, and we had a funny story. Someone tried to steal our stuff from our room. You know that Glenrock is very close to the border. So someone came out the top of the hill at night and put his hand through the window and was trying to take our stuff. And eventually he got caught because he stole a kid's iPod. And the girl at the time, he couldn't get his hand out. He got stuck. Then the guards caught him. So, yeah. Glenrock was fun. Being a prefect was fun.
Do you have any sports leadership roles?
I was hockey captain.
Okay.
And then we had a swimming team at that time. I was swimming captain.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that was it. But I played all the other
Yeah.
other sports. But I was those two. I was captain of. I was the canteen manager.
Thought you were.
Yes.
See, that I can see.
Now, okay, so yeah, I forgot about that. But that was the best job ever because I became even more popular in school than I even imagined because I would be the source of all the food that was coming into.
All the crisps.
Yeah, oh my goodness. And I developed a system. I'm sure it was done before me, but I developed a system where they could pay me at the end of the week.
Oh.
Credits.
And yeah, exactly.
Credits.
I had a book.
We have credits.
Yeah.
I had a book and I would write their names down and
Yeah.
I have I don't know if you've seen him around, Johan Daruwala. He's my best friend from school
Yeah.
and we still hang out a lot. And he was the headhunter who would go hunting these people down for their money, you know, especially when you had to do the schedule.
I wasn't a prefect, but we had to be in charge of DOMs and all that during Parents Week and sometimes of sports and all that. We had to be in charge of some certain sport. We had to make sure that everyone got to play and all that. Those are some of the things. Then what? And for treks and all that, we were also put in charge of some, like we had the junior, the senior, in charge of that. That is the main thing. And we our thing was to be popularity was important, so we tried to be nice to them. That is one thing we used to do.
Yeah, I was a prefect. I don't know if I had any other named role.
Weren't you a sports captain?
No, I wasn't a sports captain. But I was involved in everything. I just remember being constantly busy.
Yeah, sounds like Hebron.
But I think I literally did
Everything.
everything in my last year, I was doing individual music exams, I was on 2 sports teams, I was in 2 bands, I was doing my Duke of Ed Gold, I was but yeah, I think prefect was my main official.
Hebron never struggled in keeping you busy.
Yeah.
No.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
And one thing has made you all-rounders, not just one thing, everything, bit of everything.
And I think that's one of the big strengths of Hebron, isn't it? It produces people that are well-rounded, It encourages you into doing everything. Everybody will do a bit of sport, everyone will do a bit of music, everyone will have some leadership role. And we've not actually talked about academics, but I think Hebron produces really just well-rounded people who have experienced a lot and have been able to try a lot. And when I talk to my friends that have been to schools in the UK, they're like, oh yeah, well I wasn't sporty, and I was like, well, I'm not naturally sporty, but I was still on all the sports teams. Or I'm not naturally musical. Well, I can't sing, but I was the lead role in the musical. So I think it's just such wide variety of a life experience, and I think that should not be. We should put a lot of importance on that. I think that is a big strength of Hebron. It focuses on producing good people and not necessarily. And I think personally that's possibly more important than people who've got the best grades or the best sporting achievement.
True.
It focuses on producing good people, and because of that it still produces great sportsmen and great academics, but that's a byproduct of focusing on caring for people and growing people, and a byproduct is you will have people that will excel.
One thing good about Hebron is public speaking. It really encouraged us in public speaking. That is one of the for English, we had marks for that, and even drama really helps. When I went to when you go to university. When I was in Australia, I didn't have any issues when I conducted a seminar or whatever. A lot of people used to get nervous seeing if I'm speaking in front of a big crowd, but I didn't have any issues because of the drama, the training. You do that in front of so many people. So that was one good thing about public speaking, which is very important when you leave Hebron. You probably mark for that as well.
Yeah. So speaking about university, how did you feel when you were transitioning from school to university? Did you struggle? Did you not? How did the fact that you grew up in Hebron, especially because all of you graduated and studied here for a long period of time, was that helpful, not helpful? Were there struggles because you were, well, to be honest, Hebron's kind of a unique community in comparison to many other places. So was that helpful in terms of transitioning to a university, which is probably a very different lifestyle?
Yes and no. I mean, it was very easy to transition into university because the studies was very similar. You and being in Hebron, you had a structured study system, and if you just take that into university, you'll find it extremely easy. Just make sure you have a set time to do your work,
Yeah.
and that's it. The thing I struggled with university is that I had a lot more independence. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't understand. People would say, tonight's we're going here and we're going to a party here or we're doing that there. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know how this stuff exists. Learned over time, but that's the independence is something you have to adjust with.
So where did you go to university?
I went to university, Brunel University in West London.
Okay.
I did a bachelor's in science.
Yeah.
I did a joint honors, business management and sports science. So
I was really Hebron sick. Home, like, and I was missing. Like, there was nobody from Hebron and Madras or whatever. Like, it was all new people from. There were people from other schools in OT, but then, like, I got friendly with those from who were from other schools in OT and all that. And the education is pretty different there. And Indian system, like, it helps if you mug up. You need to mug up. So I was pretty bad at that because Hebron, you learn to apply. I mean, you can mug up the whole book and still fail. You have to learn to apply the, like, whatever you learned or whatever. So mugging up was one thing. Like, I had to learn to mug up. Then there was something called ragging. In Hebron, you're really protected and all that. Ragging was like in India, because you have to be like, and those in Lawrence, they really used to that kind of stuff and all that, ragging and all that. That was one thing. But when I went to Australia, I thought it was pretty, like, pretty helpful because it was similar to what I learned in Hebron. Many things were very similar to what I learned in Hebron. But in India, it's pretty, very different. Like all that, especially the ragging and all, and the teachers are not so helpful. Like in here, in Hebron, I think the teachers are very helpful. Like the principal will probably be like your parent or whatever. Over there, it's very different. Like, it's I'm the teacher, you're the student. That's it. You're not friends. That was one thing about. Yeah.
So I went to university in the UK in Liverpool.
Yeah.
I did medicine. The academics was not a problem. I think, like Kynan said, Hebron instills in you good study discipline, and if you're able to transfer that, you can study. Hebron produces bright people. Also, my time in Hebron, I had lessons in the Dell department, I think they call it now.
Yeah.
I think you were there also, maybe,
Yeah.
Kynan. And I think that also taught us a lot of extra study strategies. So when you don't quite get something, or it's taught in a way you don't understand, it teaches you skills to be able to work around it, to understand it. So academics was not hard. I hated being in the UK. I did not enjoy university. I think culture-wise it was very different. People looked at me, I look like I'm white British, I look like I belong, but I did not feel it. I knew if I left university, I had nowhere else to go. I couldn't come back here. It was my class were not here, it was different. I didn't really know anybody else in the UK. So it's because of that I thought that I stayed at university, even though I was not happy. And now I love my job and I love my career, and I wouldn't be able to do that if I hadn't stayed at university. So when you look back, you can see, God's goodness and faithfulness in it all. But at the time, it was a challenge, and that is a challenge, I think, of life after Hebron is. Whatever your experience is, as are all good. Some people's are not so good, but it's taking the things that you've learned, the skills that you've learned. And realizing that they are a massive part of who you are, but using them to move forward and moving on. And it's difficult because you will always look back, but you've been provided with so many good things. And, now you see Hebronites all over the world and succeeding in so many things and in so many different areas. And coming back for these celebrations, being able to testify to the things that they've learned and take forward. And so we hope that it encourages people who are here now. And hopefully, that you guys will be in our position in,
25
15
years.
odd years time, I don't know how many years time, that you'll be able to sit here and look back and be like, oh, this all happened to Hebron, and now we can see how this has shaped the people that we are.
Yeah, you guys will miss this place.
Definitely.
Trust me, you will. You will miss this,
No doubt about
Make
it.
the best use of it. Like, just love this place. Enjoy it now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For
Thank you.
the time.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Jeremy.
That was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.